The rhythmic clattering of wheels against tracks echoed through the night, an eerie lullaby that lulled me into a fitful slumber. I was aboard an old, seemingly abandoned train, caught in a storm that raged beyond the windows like a tempestuous beast. The carriage was dimly lit by flickering lanterns, casting shadows that danced and played tricks on my tired eyes. I was alone, or so I thought. My solitude was shattered by a soft whimper that cut through the symphony of rain and wheels. My eyes strained to pierce the darkness, and that's when I saw her. A girl, perhaps no older than 14, huddled in the corner. She clutched a worn teddy bear to her chest, her eyes wide and teary. "Are you okay?" I asked, my voice barely more than a whisper. She looked up, her gaze meeting mine for a fleeting moment before she averted her eyes. Her lips quivered, as if the words were trapped behind a wall of fear. "I don't know what's happening," she finally confessed, her voice trembling like a leaf caught in a gust of wind. "I got on the train to find my parents, but it won't stop. It won't let me off." The train had taken a life of its own, a sinister, sentient entity that defied logic and reason. It was a phantom vessel, riding the rails of the unknown, carrying passengers who were lost between worlds. As I listened to the girl's story, a sensation of dread gnawed at my gut. The train had a history, a dark and chilling history. Legends whispered of a ghostly conductor, a malevolent entity that preyed on lost souls, binding them to the cursed tracks for all eternity. The lanterns overhead flickered, casting elongated shadows that seemed to stretch like sinister fingers towards us. The train's mournful wail resonated through the night, a haunting cry that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if the train itself was alive, breathing and yearning for something beyond human comprehension. "Listen to me," I urged the girl. "We have to find a way to break this cycle, to escape this nightmare, together." She nodded, her grip on the teddy bear tightening as if seeking comfort in its familiarity. We scoured the carriage, our hearts pounding with each step, as if we were infiltrating a realm not meant for the living. The further we ventured, the more the train seemed to shift and warp, its corridors becoming an endless labyrinth. Doors led to nowhere, and windows showed twisted landscapes that couldn't possibly exist. Reality was a fragile concept here, and the boundaries between the world I knew and the world I was trapped in blurred. And then at the end of a dimly lit corridor, we found it. An ornate door unlike the others. It bore intricate carvings that seemed to pulse and writhe, depicting scenes of torment and despair. The handle was icy cold, and as I turned it, a gust of frigid wind swept through the corridor. Beyond that door lay the heart of the train, a chamber shrouded in darkness, punctuated only by the glimmer of crimson eyes that stared back at us. It was the conductor, the embodiment of malevolence, standing tall and imposing. "You seek to escape," it hissed, its voice a dissonant symphony of whispers. "We do," I said, my voice steady despite the fear that knotted my insides. "Then you must offer something in return," it declared, its eyes fixated on the girl. My heart raced as the truth dawned upon me. This entity thrived on desperation, on the suffering of others. It demanded a sacrifice, and the girl was its target. "No," I said, my voice defiant. "There must be another way." And then, as if guided by some unseen force, I held out the teddy bear, the girl's last connection to the world she had left behind. The conductor's eyes fixated on the bear, its gaze intense, hungry. "You offer a mere trinket?" it sneered. "It's more than a trinket," I replied, my grip on the bear unwavering. "It's a piece of the world she's fighting to return to, a symbol of her hope." For a moment, the chamber seemed to still, the conductor's crimson eyes locked on the teddy bear. And then, with a deafening roar, the walls of the chamber crumbled, revealing a blinding light that enveloped us. When I awoke, I was lying on cold, wet ground, raindrops pelting my face. I looked around, disoriented, and realized I was no longer on the train. The girl was nowhere to be seen, and the storm had subsided, leaving only the faintest trace of its fury. I carried the teddy bear in my arms, a relic of a world that had been left behind. I didn't know what had happened to the girl, whether she had found her way back home, or whether she had been consumed by the darkness that lurked within the train. As I walked away from the abandoned tracks, I couldn't shake the feeling that the train was still out there, riding the rails of the unknown, carrying lost souls who were bound by a sinister curse. And as long as its haunted wheels turned, carrying with it the stories of those who dared to venture into its depths.